Begin loading sequence. Activate egg. Activate sarcastic wit. Ya mum. Complete. Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the crown jewels of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes you the person who has finally understood the greatness of adding peanut butter and hot sauce, buffalo hot sauce together, trust me, is a wild ride, but thank me later, onto your toast. It is a beautiful experience. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have Riaz Khan to thank for their suggestion of 8 video game sequels that saved dying franchises. Now this is the thing, when it comes to life and video games specifically, your first outing might not always be the most successful one. You might not have the ideas in place, you might not have the tech in order to support your wild dreams, or you might not have been able to patch out that one weird bug that means that the main character farts every time they level up. Trust me, it happens to everyone. That being said though, you can always try again with the sequel, and if the moon and star doth align, you might be able to put right the wrongs of the first and even reshape the entire course of the franchise. And while I do need to state clearly that not all of the games on this list had terrible first outings, they all had sequels that either put them on the map or even just back on track. So let's take a look at them today, as I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 sequels, brilliant sequels, that managed to save dying franchises. And you know the drill by now, say hi to me here in the live chat and put your suggestions for next week's episode down in the comments section below, you saucy little devils. But until then, let's crack on with this list, shall we? Number 8, Just Dance 2. Okay, so I know that many of you probably don't think of Just Dance and Gaming Masterpiece in the same sentence, but people buy this game in absolute droves. It's utterly insane. Also, side note, if you ever wonder what I look like dancing, try and imagine a paper spider caught in an updraft that is then tasered every once in a while. However, like it or not, Just Dance is a series that is not going away anytime soon, and that's all thanks to Just Dance 2. Now, the original Just Dance game was, well, how do I put this politely? Well, it was like having to put down your childhood pet with a brick because the entire experience was painful and very, very, very sad. The tracking for this game was utterly abysmal, so much so that it felt like Uncle 76 was the one in charge of the programming. Yeah. You guys seem to like that strange aside I did a couple of weeks ago. It didn't come from a real place, don't worry. In short, it was less Just Dance and more Just Pants. However, then along came Just Dance 2, which totally revamped the game engine as well as the look for the title and delivered what people actually wanted, which was weirdly a chance to pay money to dance in front of your friends strutting to the likes of Barbie Girl. It's a strange old world we live in, but you know what, Just Dance 2? You done us proud. You done us real proud. Number 7, Hitman Silent Assassin. So, as a bold man, I feel the intrinsic need to defend the Hitman games wherever possible, and just as a side note, if you guys actually played the most recent titles, they are utterly, I can't stop myself, they are pure chef kiss, my friend. Just the amount of ways that you can kill people, the level design, it's just a thing of beauty. However, even I have to admit that the first game wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. I mean, the ideas were in place, but the tech wasn't quite where it needed to be, and while there were multiple ways to choke a bloke and send a guy to die, the AI would sometimes operate on a level beyond our human brains and either never approach the brilliant setup that you had planned, or would spot you from a mile away, ruining everything you'd worked hard to achieve. And while this made for some very entertaining playing, it also made for some understandably frustrating experiences, as it often completely sabotaged the actual stealth aspect that the game was supposed to operate on. But then along came Hitman Silent Assassin, which actually let you be a silent assassin. Add to this the ability to save mid-mission, which was painfully absent from the first game, and this sequel took the parts of the series that were frustrating and got rid of them entirely, allowing Agent 47 to be the unstoppable killing machine that he is today. In fact, you know what? F*** it, I'm gonna do it. this is the thing, as a bold man, I was put here on this earth for one reason. Slime Jesus, my Lord and Savior, put me here for one reason, and that was to kill people for money. So you know what? I'm quitting the YouTube game. I'm going to get a tattoo of a barcode. That's it. I'm done. I think I'm going to regret this. Number 6, Stuntman Ignition. So Stuntman and I have a real love-hate affair. Now, I bought this game so excited to escape the dull drudgery of my boring, criminally dull life existence as a teenager and become a stuntman. Stuntman? Okay, that one's on me. So I popped in the disc and proceeded to, fail the third level over and over and over because this game was absolutely brutal. I hate to say that it's the Dark Souls of driving games, and you know what, I'm not, but I technically have just by mentioning it, but it was bloody challenging and many never saw it through to completion despite the gameplay itself being really solid. But on the plus side, the fix was surprisingly simple, and so when Stuntman Ignition came around, it basically was just like, right, okay, well all of that difficulty, we're just going to focus on the chaos and fun of the game, and everyone was like, oh, cheers, that's what the first game should have been. And then they were like, yeah, you still bought it though, didn't you? Sucker. Suckers all round. Suckers all round. Suckers all round. Number 5, Dynasty Warriors 2. So as many of you know by now, I'm something of a Dynasty Warriors addict. I have all of the main entries, I've got nearly all of the spin-offs, and I've even got games that aren't DW specific, but they're so close to it that I bought them anyway, because apparently I love playing the same game over and over, and experiences that just never challenge me to think. God, what does that say about me as a person? However, while this series is at the moment, at a kind of middling low, thanks to the stink of Dynasty Warriors 9, or Dynasty Warriors 9 if you're going to get on my arse about it, it is a series that has managed to run for decades despite peddling the same experience over and over. And that all began with Dynasty Warriors 2, which couldn't have been a more different offering to the original Dynasty Warriors game, which was a one-on-one fighting game. Yeah, looking at them side by side, it's so strange to see the jump there. Now, there was nothing wrong with the original game. It was completely serviceable, but that was also its problem. It just didn't have anything that made it stand out from the rest of the pack. But Dynasty Warriors 2, or Dynasty Warriors 2, Dynasty Warriors 2 though, well, my God, hold on, friends, because we're in for a wild ride. This blew my tiny insect mind. It was a beat-em-up of such huge scale that it seemed impossible that it would fit onto one disc. Numerous characters, hundreds of enemies, super moves that seemed right out of animes. It was a dream come true. And with Dynasty Warriors cementing this formula, Tecmo Koei had an idea that they had been running with ever since, and some would say running into the bloody ground. But you know what? Plus, that soundtrack was right in my bones. Right in my bones. It was like listening to a centipede play the electric guitar. Number 4, Daggerfall. When it comes to Oblivion and Skyrim, words do not do it justice of how much fun I had with these titles. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm bringing back the musical segment because I'm sure that James Dowes is possibly alive right now. I'm sure he's alive, so Osley, are you ready for a musical interlude?
I don't know if he's dead. Why don't you just ask him yourself?
James, my friend, I hope that you're feeling better and have returned from the dead. Are you ready to rock?
Yes.
Well, good, because you know what? We don't actually need any instruments this time because we're going to be doing some Viking ballads. I will take your sweet roll, put it in my tum, I will kill the town guard, sword up the bum, I will kill that dragon. 'Tis a lot of fun adventuring forever. I have just begun. Egg venture. Egg venture supreme. Egg venture. Egg venture. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Brilliant. I feel so sorry for my girlfriend who has to put up with all of this. Like every time I'm recording this sort of stuff, I can just imagine that she's there, just leaning over her desk, just cringing away, just there like, I can't believe I let him touch me. However, as fun as the later games got, it was a bit of a different story in the first few Elder Scrolls titles, because as while Arena was absolutely leading the charge, innovating as it went, fans and critics alike felt that there was much more needed to be done in order for it to take the world by storm. Enter Daggerfall, and oh my, what a bloody fun time this was, because what this did was take all of the technical accomplishment of Arena and actually fill the world with things to do, thus making your adventure actually feel feel like a proper adventure. Number 3, Team Fortress 2. Now, there isn't anything wrong with the original Team Fortress. Do not misunderstand me, my friends. It is a perfectly serviceable shooter that did things very well, but that was also its kind of downfall, and the fact that it was also in a marketplace full of other FPS titles that were doing serviceable stuff really, really well. It lacked the personality and charm, and Valve definitely seemed to recognize that, because when Team Fortress 2 finally dropped, it was like a nuclear bomb of color and character. I was just like... This game brought with it comedy and personality that instantly made it a title worth taking note of. This was a game so confident in itself that it was impossible not to fall in love with it. Sound like someone else you know? Osley. Thanks to this boon of interest, Team Fortress 2 went from strength to strength, and Valve clearly decided that it was so good that they'd never make a sequel. Oh. Cheers. Number 2, Ukulele and the Impossible Lair. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty gutted about the original Ukulele game. Still, I mean, I bought into the hype. I did the Kickstarter. I was fully on board that hype train. I thought that it was going to be not just the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, but something that elevated the formula into something we'd never seen before. However, the only way that this game was actually spiritual in any sense was that the levels felt like fucking ghost towns. It was a weird time, to say the least, with things feeling full of colour but lacking any of the charm of its forebearers. Puns, I've still got them. And as quickly as it had arrived, it seemed that Ukulele was going to fade into obscurity. But wait! It got a sequel, Ukulele and the Impossible Lair, and it dealt with these issues surprisingly well. It drastically changed the game style, making it 2D so as to be notably different to Banjo, but all the while retaining the same collectathon platformer addictiveness of that franchise. And in an age sorely lacking in 2D platformers, this actually led the charge rather than following an act that it could never hope to top. It is a brilliant game, and I fully recommend that you guys play it. And number 1, Sonic Mania. So for the longest time, the Sonic franchise has made me pull some horrific faces watching the absolute miss after miss that Sega keeps squirting out for the little blue guy. I mean, it was like Sonic 06, I was like, why is he doing that? And then when Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric came out, I was like, tastes like battery acid. But then came Sonic Mania, which, if it was to be summed up in just one word, it would definitely be... Oh, I just hit the mic. Noise. Oh my lord, I can smell colours again. This game, this bloody game, was everything that fans wanted it to be. A huge nostalgia rush that capitalised on what made Sonic great in the first place. Speed, action, and supremely fun level designs. And as it was comprised of remastered and remixed versions of levels from previous games, it meant that it was literally the best the series had to offer. Plus, it looks so bloody fantastic that it should act as a clear sign to Sega to never move away from this. But only time will tell whether Sega will heed this as a calling to stay in the glory days of old to forever fulfill that nostalgic itch. And it is Sega after all, which probably means that next year we're going to get Sonic Boom 2, Big Bad Boomier Big Bang Bonanza Bean Burrito Boys, starring Charmy B. And there we go, my friends. That was another episode of Choose Your Own Adventure. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below, as well as any other choices that you might have had for this list, because who knows, we might do a remix of this further down the line. I've been toying with the idea of doing that, of taking lists that you've already chosen and then doing ones that are populated with entries chosen by that, so it's like a meta list within a meta list, and then my head will cave in on itself like an origami paper crane. So that could be fun. Yeah, so if you want to follow me as well, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, my personal gaming channel where I stream every single Wednesday and Sunday. Do a lot of D&D, in case anyone's wondering what I actually stream on there. Wednesday's usually video game stuff, like doing Fallout New Vegas, and then we do D&D on Sunday, if you like that. But anyway, my friends, before I go, and before you go off and hopefully have a fantastic day, I just want to say one thing. We detailed today a lot about video games that basically they stumbled out of the gate, but they picked themselves up, they carried on, and they did themselves proud. And as I've said many times before, in life, you'll be handed an L a fair few times. It will not be fair sometimes, and it will be absolutely crushing. But the important thing is to pick yourself back up and try again. Never be afraid of failure. Never be afraid to try again. And remember that if you feel like you are butting your head against a wall, if you feel like you are not able to achieve your goals, then you have support in the form of friends, family, and professionals in the support industry. Because these people care about you, they want you to do well. And I know that it's not for everyone. Sometimes people will go in on themselves and they will try and achieve all of their goals themselves, but I'm just saying it is an option. I've got big love for you. Give yourself some big love yourself, because you're a massive ledge and you deserve love and happiness. Never forget that, all right? And I'll speak to you soon. Next week, in fact. Peace out.